So I thought this might be kind of a fun video in regard to LinkedIn. So you can get benefits from LinkedIn, but I would agree with what the guy said in his video that 25% of LinkedIn job posting are basically ghost jobs. In case you don't know what a ghost job is, I'll just explain to you. A ghost job is basically a made up job. The reason they make up jobs, this can be simply to keep human resource people busy. This can be to try and get investors, try and make it out that your company's doing really well because we're hiring all these staff to try and get investment, look better for banks, our perks. But if you're actually the person trying to get a job, having ghost jobs doesn't help you. It just wastes a lot of time. And in regards to what he said in his video, which I will attach in the description, he basically said that not even 5% of people who apply for jobs will actually get one. So basically means if you're trying to get a job on LinkedIn, you're probably not going to get it. And I think in general, this is kind of a sort of a good example really of what exactly I've noticed in LinkedIn, because what LinkedIn was meant to be, this is what everyone said was, it was supposed to be about getting connections with different people. Okay, cool. Getting connections to people high-ranking companies for getting jobs, but in a lot of cases that never happened because a lot of people you have this joke, and this joke itself is quite true for LinkedIn and reality in general. You have someone who will basically put a profile, make a profile look perfect, just using modern examples of what someone probably has done or will be doing. Artificial expert, 25 years experience in artificial intelligence. Mastered every language: C language, Python, hypertext markup language, CSS, Java, JavaScript, Windows, Linux, and a range of other things. That sounds cool, doesn't it? But in reality, a person is unemployed and is doing none of these things. This is where you have the joke of, the LinkedIn person versus reality, or the memes or the rest of it. And I kind of think in general that's sort of been a big problem with LinkedIn. LinkedIn itself has become too much of what I would consider a bullshit shop than an actual thing for serious things. I mean, for example, one of the best examples I can include, which I think is probably as good as you'll get, is Skillwide. I mean, for example, I can put down any skill in the world. I can do Python, I can do project management, I can do Pandas software, I can do Flask, I can do Seaborn, a range of things. I can put down anything in the world. But does me having these skills on an actual LinkedIn profile matter in any way? Probably not, because most people know in general, if you really can do these things, you'll kind of already know. You don't really have to tell everybody. And also as well, if we were going to apply the LinkedIn idea to reality, if someone really is the best at artificial intelligence or best at something else, would he not already guaranteed to have an unlimited supply of jobs or unlimited supply of people wanting them? Or would it not be worth so many billions? If we're going to be fair, if that is the case. And that's why I kind of go back to saying that LinkedIn itself for most people is not really worth it, because in a lot of cases what LinkedIn does is it just sort of waste time. Because as well, even if you're going to consider you do advertising, so let's make it simple. Say you advertise for a job on it. You might find the majority of people who see your adverts are people who are employment agencies who will never put you in contact with people, but they then try and charge people for that service. So then you end up finding out the person you actually want to get, you can't get him or her because you have to jump through so many hoops. And I've also spoken to quite a few people who actually have done LinkedIn advertising and found out that none of them have made any money. In reality, what happens is bots or fake accounts contact them and then pretend to buy things or sort of things, so you just waste your time. I mean, maybe you can, with the right optimization, make money on LinkedIn through advertising, but I've never heard anyone. This is where I kind of go back to thinking that it's not really worth it. I mean, if for example purposes you really want to make it simple, LinkedIn business, I think that's fine. If you want to go for it. Or if you really want to make a high quality profile, then it's cool. But the idea that this is now going to make you very important or very well thought after is not going to happen, because you're basically just sort of trying to look the best in LinkedIn, because people offer services, they'll make your LinkedIn profile look perfect, brilliant, fantastic, or rest. I mean, if you want to pay for it, hey, cool, go for it. But it's not really going to do much for you in reality. You also have to consider as well, and this has been kind of a common thing for a while, is a lot of people who actually do have companies who need employers, they're not going to speak to you on LinkedIn, because if we've received hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of spam emails saying, hey, buy my service, buy my shoes, or something like that. So, I mean, if they are on LinkedIn, they're probably only going to speak to people who they actually know of, who actually are their friends, they work together, people close. They're not going to be replying to everyone. This is why, in general, even if you're going to be using it for trying to get jobs, it's probably not going to happen to you unless you are very lucky, or you actually have some way to get in contact with someone who actually cares. In most cases, regarding to trying to get a job on LinkedIn, it's probably not going to happen, because in order for you to have it happen, you'd have to be doing like 10,000, even potentially more, just to give you a 1% chance of getting a job, or even higher in some cases you'd have to go up to. And that's assuming you pass all the criteria, you pass their AI checks, all the rest of it. That's why in general I would never recommend, if someone is looking for a job, LinkedIn is probably not going to happen. Unless, for example purposes, you actually know a person on a physical level. For example, you met a person a few times, or if they actually asked you to contact them on LinkedIn. If they ask you to contact them, hey, cool, go for it. But outside of that sort of things, most of the stuff on LinkedIn nowadays is just rubbish. I mean, I would say you're getting about 5 to max 10% stuff is actually quality content, some people share, quality information, quality things, but the other 90 to 95% on LinkedIn is just complete and utter trash. That's why in general I would never recommend anyone who does want a job or whatever is not going to happen on LinkedIn, or highly unlikely. You'd be best to go to other sites, or go to physical businesses and approach them, or just do usual filling application forms for CVs. Anyway, that's all for the video, and I'll basically share a link to our person's video, which will cover a bit more information into what tests he's done and what research he's done. Anyway, that's all. Thanks. Bye.